Hi friends, my name is Chaitanya Badke and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to analyze the final game of the Super 4 stage of the DP World Asia Cup 2022 between Pakistan and Sri Lanka, which took place at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium. Sri Lanka won the toss and expectedly chose to bowl first, although I necessarily didn't agree with that decision because as we know that there is an underlying trend that not only in this tournament but in other T20 leagues and other T20 tournaments as well, the team winning the toss first chooses to bowl and prefers to chase down the target. But what if the toss doesn't go your way in the final? So I thought that both teams could have used the chance if any particular team had won the toss to bat first and test themselves and mimic the conditions in the final if the toss didn't go their way. But that is besides the point. Sri Lanka stuck to their uh, plans and it paid off. They beat Pakistan handsomely by 5 wickets and with 3 overs to spare, so that's a big margin in T20 cricket. Mohammad Rizwan was perished for 14. He was caught out by Dilshan Madhushan of a short delivery. So very good planning and execution of the setup. And Mohammad Rizwan looked all at sea in this innings, but it is a rare failure as we know that his class is undisputed and he is the highest run scorer in the Asia Cup. So such kind of failure should not be over analyzed. Babar Azam struggled once again. I think it is his fifth consecutive failure, despite the fact that he scored 30 runs, but he took 29 deliveries and he was bowled out by Dhananjaya De Silva of a delivery that he would normally used his feet and caress it towards long off for single, but that didn't happen. So Babar Azam also needs to figure out a way to come back into form because Pakistan desperately needs him in the final. Fakhar Zaman scored 13 of 18 deliveries. He also didn't look very comfortable. Iftikhar Ahmed was undone by a delivery of Dhananjaya De Silva. 13 of 17 deliveries. Kushdil Shah also didn't trouble the scorers much. 4 of 8 deliveries. Mohammad Nawaz, with his couple of lusty blow towards the latter part of the innings, propelled Pakistan's score to above 120. But that wouldn't also have happened if Nawaz didn't play that innings. As we know that he used the long handle and played effectively against the spinner as well, especially over covers and mid wicket. So that is its prime area of scoring runs, and Pakistan will be very satisfied with his performance not only in this match but his emergence as an all-rounder is a man of the match performance against India as well. Asif Ali disappointed in this game, a golden Bombay duck. Hassan Ali also got out for a duck. Usman Qadir 3 runs and Haris Rao one of 2 deliveries. So as we can observe that there is an underlying trend that the Pakistani bowling batting lineup, especially the middle order, is not up to terms in international cricket. I am not saying that they aren't talented. We know that Asif displayed his hitting abilities in the last year's T20 World Cup. Kushdil Shah impressed one and all against Hong Kong, and he was also at the crease at the crucial moment when Pakistan defeated India. His six of Bhuvneshwar Kumar in the penultimate over sealed India's fate in that game, I would say. So it is not a question of talent. Iftikhar Ahmed also hit one great blow over mid wicket for a six of Hasaranga, but the issue is that they aren't able to convert their starts into big scores. And as I had mentioned before, and the Pakistani cricket experts and general cricketing community also believe in this point, that Mohammad Rizwan and Babar Azams, although their approach is very suited to T20 cricket, but sometimes it is detrimental because they consume a lot of deliveries. And now the problem is compounded even more because of the fact that Babar Azam and Fakhar Zaman aren't in the form, and it puts added pressure on Mohammad Rizwan to accelerate in the power play. And although he is very capable, nobody is doubting his talent and is successful most of the time, but in this game it was an aberration. And what if such games occur in the final? So an undercooked middle order will serve no purpose for Pakistan, and in this game they will be more disappointed because they had very much the time, and they had very few they had not few overs, they had many overs. to acclimatize themselves to the condition, assess the pitch and get in. But most of them didn't do it, and there were basic elementary mistakes, schoolboy errors I would say. Not picking up the deliveries from the hand and insistence of reading the delivery from the pitch will contribute to the downfall of most batsmen. Asif Ali, a classic example of not picking up the googly. So it is unimaginable that an Asian batsman doesn't have such skills, and this was the problem encountered by Bangladeshi batsmen against Afghanistan as well. So I don't know what this trend is. We should always, and the coaches and the batting coach and the head coach should also work with their batsmen, because playing a spinner is very essential that you read the ball from the hand. If you read the ball from the pitch, it takes away crucial seconds from you, and you are always on the back foot trying to catch up. And but if you read the ball from the hand, we can premeditate also. And if we also don't premeditate and don't give any notion to the bowler, if we give some signal to the bowler of premeditation, he will shorten his length if we use our feet. But there is no need to do that. Even if you are rooted to the crease and read the ball from the hand, then we can put it away anywhere you like, because we know the field conditions where they are. So these are elementary mistakes that teams are making, especially shocking mistakes the subcontinent teams are making at the international level. So that needs to be looked within, and it is a serious matter of introspection. Varindo Hasaranga bowled brilliantly well. He was rightfully adjudged the man of the match in this game. 2 catches, a run out as well. In 4 overs, he gave away 21 runs, picking up 3 wickets. He was once one of the most feared bowlers in the T20 cricket. Although his bowling form in the Asia Cup is not up to the mark, but this game he has proven why he remains an asset for Sri Lankan cricket. Excellent use of googlies, good loop, good flight, and the incompetence of Pakistani middle order. You have a recipe for disaster for Pakistan. Chamika Karunaratne bowled a single over. He gave a 4 run and took a single wicket. Dhananjay De Silva, who was drafted in place of the underperforming Charit Asalanka, I think, which was a good decision. It was long overdue, although we know Charit is very talented, but Dhananjay De Silva had to be tried as well. In 4 overs, he gave away 18 runs and took a single wicket of Babar Azam, and he bowled stump to stump. As we know that he doesn't spin the ball much, but the variation he has is he bowls stump to stump, that I would classify as a variation, and he varies the speed and uses the crease appropriately whenever required. So he's a very street smart cricketer. Pramod Madhushan on debut, 2.1 overs, 21 runs and 2 wickets. That will increase his confidence, although he didn't complete his spells, and his figures seem a pretty expensive. That shouldn't be the case, and no need to be harsh and overanalyze. He will go a long way. He is the great action, great bounce. If he bends his back, he will get even more purchase from the pitch, which offers something from the bowler. Mahesh Tikshana once again bowling brilliantly well in the power play. As we know that it is not one of the easiest jobs, bowling in the first 6 over, and he is the spinner, so his job is even more compounded. But he bowled well, and bowled stump to stump, bowled to his strength, didn't give much weight outside the off stump. Great use of the variations, the googly, the carom ball, and just strangled the Pakistani batsman in the middle order as well, when he was in the middle overs as well, I beg your pardon, when he was given the ball. Dilshan Madhushan was expensive in this game. In 4 overs, he gave away 35 runs, especially Nawaz took his liking to him in the final overs. But such sort of game happens. Not everybody will have a great day, but I'm sure he will learn and rectify his mistakes in the final. Sri Lanka, chasing a modest target of 122, were in the docks 2 for 2. Pakistani fast bowler came out swinging, and I like this particular aspect of Pakistan bowlers and Pakistan team over the years. Despite the fact that they have a small target, they just go bang right from the word go and make life difficult for the batsman. It is a very good trait to have, and never give up quality. That is ingrained in Pakistani bowlers, which is one to emulate for cricketing nations all over the world. Pathum Nisanka but held fort as an opener, 55 runs of 48 deliveries. Strike rate didn't make much sense. We don't need to analyze the strike rate because the situation demand such, and it was mandatory for him to take some deliveries to get set in, because There were wickets falling all around him at the start of the power play, and his wicket would have made the matters worse. 5 4s, 1 6, played all around the wicket. In the middle overs, he showed his range, played straight instead of cross batted, and when he played cross batted, those shots over mid wicket were a delight to watch. So, Sri Lanka has found a great talent. I'm glad they stuck with him despite the fact that he didn't score much runs. And he has a bright future, and Sri Lanka will be hoping that he fires in the final as well. Kushal Mendis, a rare failure in this game. Mohammad Hasnain caught him, and it was a peach of a delivery. Mohammad Hasnain, as we know, consistently bowls about 145 clicks, and Mendis had no chance. A golden duck for Danushka Gunathilka as well. He was promoted. As we know that he comes after 3 or 4 wickets, but this is a golden opportunity gone begging for Danushka Gunathilke to make a mark and come back into form. He could have afforded to take some time, but the delivery was a chaffer. Not any batsman in the world could have done much about it by Haris Rauf. Excellent burst of fast bowling in the power play. Broke the Sri Lankan batting order, top order, but Pathum Nisanka held firm. Dhananjaya De Silva was also caught out by Haris Rauf for 9. Bhanuka Rajapakse played a couple of lusty blows which eased off the pressure and made sure that Sri Lanka won the game. In 24 runs in 19 deliveries, he was caught out by Usman Qadir, and the coach Chris Silverwood was pretty disappointed because he wanted Rajapaksha to take Sri Lanka home, but that couldn't be the case. Dasun Chanaka, the birthday boy, once again surprising. Not surprising, I would say, that now people understand that he's a proper all-rounder. Two massive sixes, one of Mohammad Hasnain went over fine leg. It was one of the biggest sixes of the Asia Cup, and a solitary boundary to score 21 of 16 deliveries, which made sure that there were no last-minute dramas, and Pakistan chased down the Sri Lanka, I beg your pardon, chased down the target of 122, and Hasaranga 10 of 3 deliveries, which includes 2 boundaries, drop catch at third man of Hasnain's bowling. But anyways, it was Hasaranga's day, and he's such a kind of character that when it's Hasaranga's day, we cannot keep him out of the action for much longer. So well deserved victory for Sri Lanka, and no need to judge Pakistani team by this one performance, I would say. Although they tried very hard, they didn't have enough run on the board to play with, but they played their best, and hoping for cracker jack of a final on Sunday, September 11th at the same venue. So how did you like my analysis of this game? Please tell in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and press the bell icon for further notifications. We'll meet in the next video. Till then everyone, bye. Please subscribe.